Hello, 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 hello. What's going on, everybody? Let's see if anyone trickles in here a bit later than I have been doing. Haven't hopped on in a while. Big news, big news. I haven't taken a trade in like 2 or 3 weeks. This current market environment is just absolute trash. Nothing I want to be involved in, and it's been years in the making. Like the first maybe year and a half, it was so hard for me to want to push the buttons. I had to pry my hands out of my pockets just to get me to push some keys to put some risk on the table. And then once I started making money, now you just want to push the envelope and you want to make more and more and more. And then it's hard to pull your hands off of it. So it's been years in the making. I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Um, so for now, the last couple weeks, there wasn't anything A plus. I believe the last one I was on here doing a watch list, I was talking about some developments I made with Chris over at IU, and when overall markets start pulling back and you get those bigger picture, sort of the inverse of those breakout trades, and I get to trade the breakdowns on these larger caps. And that was working well. And then SPY went into a holding pattern, and we weren't getting breakouts or breakdowns. We were just getting steady trends in one way or another. A lot of it was down, just relative weakness versus the overall market, and a lot of those names, something like a MSTR of sorts, where I was trading this breakdown over here back in August. I believe I was looking at this breakdown here back in September. And if you weren't swinging from those areas, this went from 360 down to 160 and didn't really get much tightness or daily chart setups, so to speak. There, you had quantum names starting to unwind, where you got a little bit of tightness, but then you get caught with a gap down, and it doesn't really get anywhere because most of the range was in those gap downs. So you just had a lot of scenarios where they were steady fades and not like tightness and pure setups. So when I'm learning a new setup, I'm definitely not going to try and find nuances within that setup and try to get cute with it, so to speak. So those breakdown trades weren't super popular, super common. And then small caps just completely died. It was a risk off market, risk off environment in small caps. There was just nothing to trade. But it was worthwhile for me to come on here because I finally have a few names on watch. I've been showing up every night, running scans, looking for opportunity. I've been waking up for the market open, checking the gappers, seeing if there's any daily chart patterns. A lot of it was just minimal gaps, 20, 30, 40% gappers that aren't even really good for a gap and crap strategy. And then there was nothing really running, so wasn't getting any multi-day runners, multi-day breakouts. So as far as that goes, that's kind of the update and what's been going on with me the last couple weeks. Just no trades, showing up every day, and just basically understanding if I don't have edge, there's no reason to push any buttons. But when a trade does set up, now that I've waited these couple weeks, I've given myself the permission to swing the bat hard when those setups start to come around. So I will touch on a few names that are hitting my watch list. AEHL was just a recent runner. It's not really in any sort of sector, and small caps haven't been super hot, but most of these names, like CYPH, for example, went up and gave it all back. You had, what else? There was, oh, geez, CABR? What was it? I can't remember. I can't remember all the tickers at the top of my head, but CYPH is a great example of what's kind of been happening, where we've gotten some runs and they just fade and give all that back. So AEHL is a bit of an outlier in that sense where it's ran. We do have those top wicks. I prefer the wicks to be on the bottom where they pull, get absorbed, and come right back. Where this one is getting sold into pops. Fairly illiquid, but if you zoom out to like an intradaily here, you can see all the volume was traded sub 3. So if this loses $3 and starts to fade off, I likely just leave it be. But if this continues to hold 3 and then starts to build 350s and some volume starts to come back into it, could be a scenario where it's put in a multi-day run, digested and tightened, breaks 350, and then maybe we get a symmetrical leg like a 150 to 4, and then that's what, 250. So then maybe you get like a 350 to 6. Could be in the cards. Some overhead resistance, but it's far enough away. But we will see. I think most of the attention in small caps should be on the robotics theme. There was some news that came out with Trump and the Americans headlines putting some money into robotics going into 2026. And that got some robotics attention. So all the way down from some of these larger. Oh, one sec. Someone's at the door. Give me a second. Sorry about that. We should be back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I see my audio back up. So, where was I? Robotics. So yeah, you had Serve, was one of those main ones that has run in the past with the robotics theme. RR being the most recent, that kind of went without the rest of the whole sector. And these ones are getting a bit of attention, and you're starting to get some momentum out of them. But iRobot, if you guys use their vacuums, the Roomba, this one did have a technical setup today. I saw the gap, I saw the volume, and it was a decent daily on this breakout here through the 250s. Now, what I didn't pick up on, because again, I've been showing up, but I'm not like in tune, in flow state, so to speak, with the market. So I missed that headline on the robotics theme that might have given me a bit more long bias to it today, but it doesn't have a huge history of big range days. So playing that 250 break right through here, or maybe dips or anything, risk was always versus low a day for me. So a 250 entry versus a 210 risk, I'm risking 40 cents. For me to get a 3-to-1 trade, I'm gonna have to be making like a $1.20. That would then be what is that, 370 or so. So there was like a 2-to-1 trade in it today. Now, if this theme and sector does pick up, then obviously there will be some sustained momentum to this whole sector. But that was the main reason why I didn't take it today. Now, I don't mind the technical setup if it was a different name then maybe I would have been a bit more apt to taking the trade. But again, that 250 breakout, it was clean. It did end up holding a few times, held well, nice trend throughout the day, and so far looking good. So um, I saw Cody, Odd Stock Trader, was comparing this to like a open back over here. Nate was comparing it to like a BYND over here, where it pulls back, you get that little breakout, and maybe starts to speed up. Um, so I'm not counting on something like that. If it does, I mean, there's an A plus opportunity that'll bring me back in wanting to trade it if this thing starts to go 6 to 8 to 10 or something like that, and you just get a straight up multi-day move. I would love it. Um, Now, that being said, I do think now that we have this whole sector, we've got this macro theme with money going into this sector. Now, is it going to go into this specific name? I don't think so. I doubt it. But as long as retail and money flows into it, these themes and sector moves can last a lot longer than you think. Um, so if this were to push, pull, consolidate, and then tighten and maybe set up something like this, and then I could get a breakout within this sector, that would be an A grade setup that I would love to take advantage of. Now that it's proven that it can go on multi-day runs, maybe it goes a bit higher and then consolidates and then maybe get a secondary leg. Kit, another one worthwhile. This one is not one I would long like iRobot would be the daily chart pattern within the sector of something that I could play. Kit with the overhead resistance, history of gaps and fails, wasn't really on a gap scanner, was just a sympathy to the sector move. This isn't really one that I buy. I'm not one to just join trends just because. But this one was definitely a nice big percent gainer. So now we're up from 70. If this can get a straight up move into those mid threes, that could be a possible overextended gap up and then a shortened resistance. You get kind of multiple chart patterns aligning into one for that possible short trade. But again, if we can just push, get a nice multi-day move, consolidate and tighten up, and then get that re-breakout, I would love secondary legs on these to get me involved before they do blow out. But in the other option of them just running without me, then maybe I get a backside trade on something like that as well. This one just hit scan. I haven't been taking these big picture breakouts just because of the overall market hasn't been super fruitful, so to speak. Just not helping these larger cap big picture names. So I'm a bit hands off right now with these swing trades, but this is that flat based breakout that Ariel talked about in the Legends playbook. Feel free to go and check out my Twitter. I've posted about it quite a bit. I helped do some of the editing on that, and I for one have definitely watched and gone through everybody's content on there, and super great value there. The Legends playbook over at Investors Underground. If you need a link or whatever, if you can't find it, just reach out to me on Twitter. I think my DMs are open. I can send you a link over there. But this is the setup that Ariel goes over, where you get that flat base breakout on a recent runner. But yeah, I think I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update on what I've been doing. Haven't blown up or anything like that. Just been super hands off and no trades. But now with this sector and theme and small caps getting some volume and volume and percentage gainers is what I love to see. So iRobot and Kit will be my main watches throughout the week. And yeah, that's pretty much. I did get a question on Twitter why I wasn't really watching SMX, and I do have it on a watch list just because there isn't much to watch. But it runs from 5 to 70, pulls back for one day, and goes 30 to 70. That's not a breakout I'm looking to trade. Buying a breakout 100% after it runs from 30 to 70 and then playing that breakout is just not something that I would trade. Now, if this tightens up for 1, 2, 3 days right near its highs and then breaks, then maybe I get involved there. If this puts in another sideways day between like 40 and 70, and then we get that breakout, then maybe that's in the cards for me to look to take advantage of. But for now, just watching these small cap robotics sector, and that's about it. So I saw a few of you guys pop in here. I hope you guys are doing well. I know like October, November were super good, or September and October, sorry. Not November was slow. I wasn't taking any trades in November. But September and October were nice, active months. And I think a lot of people could have made a lot of money in those couple months. But then you go into November when things slow down, and that's typically when people try to do what was working in that environment and they give back. That was I was spinning my wheels for a long time doing stuff like that, and would make, and then a little trough would come in the market cycle, and I would try to keep hammering away at what was working, and would give back everything I made. Would be flat, and then make, and then give it back, and then make, and so on and so forth. So don't do that. Don't be in the boom and bust cycle. It sucks. The highs don't feel so high, and the lows feel a hell of a lot lower. So just keep that in mind. If you had a great September and October, don't try and fight and dig yourself a hole. The market always comes back. There's always opportunity right around the corner, and I think the longer you trade, the longer we all trade, the more we start to realize that there's always opportunity, and we don't need to be involved in every market cycle. So, with that being said, let me check the chat here. I don't think there was any questions coming through. Nope. Alrighty, guys, I will wrap it up there. Thanks to the few of you that tuned in. I will post this right away. So you guys can watch the replay for anyone coming in later or tomorrow morning. But yeah, just wanted to give you an update, and finally a few names on watch. So hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.